Hello, how you doing? It's me, Amin again, and I'm here with another crypto update for you. So basically, yeah, Bitcoin. What's been happening with Bitcoin? So we can see, first of all, this is the 12-hour chart on the Bittrex exchange, and what we can see here is, I mean, for the last how long has it been? Few weeks, about 3 weeks or so now. We've just been kind of heading up from this big sell-off down to 2,900. And yeah, I mean we had a nice V bottom here, and then I guess you can call this a Adam and Eve double bottom because I mean this here would be your Eve, okay, and this here would be, sorry, this here would be your Adam, and this here would be your Eve, right? Because it's the sharp, unforgiving bottom would be the Adam, and the rounded bottom here would be Eve. Sorry guys, let me just get rid of all my drawings quickly. And after that, we've just been kind of stair-stepping our way. You'll probably be able to see it clear on the 6 hour. So yeah, we've just been kind of stair-stepping our way from this low. We created a high, we created a higher low, a higher high, higher low, a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and now we're kind of almost, it's looking like we're going to create a lower low, okay? Because this was the last higher low, and this looks like it's the next, it's a lower low, right? So, it's looking a little bit bearish at the moment. And in all honesty, if we're, if, I mean, the last video I didn't kind of do the analysis full on. But there were telltale signs because, I mean, if let's say if we look at the 4 hour chart, it might be clearer. So if we look at the 4 hour chart, we can see that as we're going up here, if you look at the RSI levels here, the RSIs are coming down. So we're going up along this section here, right? But the RSIs are getting weaker and weaker, and to the point where at this top right here is like almost, very weak here. Okay, so on the RSIs we had a clear signal that the sell-off is about to come, right? But people are kind of panicking and they're saying, oh, we've dropped from 44.50 down all the way to the low at like 4,200, right? So what, that's like $250 drop. But in all honesty, guys, that's not a huge drop. I mean, if we look at, if I bring my drawings back, then let's look at the actual bigger picture where we are. Okay, so these are the lines. There's some of the trend lines I've drawn in the past, and you can see we're back in this zone here, this choppy zone. And I did say before that we are going to chop around in this zone, right? We are going to chop around in this zone. But one thing I want to highlight is, okay, look, we had a sell-off, but look where we sold off to. See this trend line that we've been following up from the bottom here on the 15th, or what was it? Yeah, the 15th of September. We've been following this trend all the way up. Okay, and look where we sold off to. We sold off to this trend line here. Now, I'm not saying it's done selling off. We could come back to the trend line and we might break it. It is possible, okay? Because the volume is quite low. Okay, the volume is, especially the buy volume, is kind of quite low here. So we need the volume to kind of really pick back up before we can kind of start heading back up again. But the good thing is, I mean, the indicators are kind of starting to reset a bit. The 4 hours heading low, still pointing down, so it's indicating that we're going to continue selling off for a while. The 12 hours really pointing down now. The 6 hours coming down. It's kind of coming down to the kind of sold area. So maybe another day or so. But if you, I mean, if you look at the 1 day and the 12 hour, I mean, yeah, it needs to kind of sell off a bit. I mean, if you look at the 12 hour, it's kind of pointing down. So we need this oscillator to kind of reset a bit. But how much we're going to sell off remains to be seen. One thing that I think I highlighted before that was actually, someone highlighted to me is that we've been in this up rising wedge formation, which tends to be bearish. So we haven't actually come out of this wedge yet, but I mean we could potentially come out of this wedge on the bearish side. And if we do, if that is the case, then I mean I guess one area I'd be looking at is down at the 4,000 range. Okay, I think between these lows right here, 39, it's possible. I mean, if we break this low here, I think this top here, we've got to keep an eye on this top here. Okay, see these two 1 day candles here. It's also there's strong support right here. So I've laid out the line here before. So I mean, if we sell off here, then we could easily sell back down to 4,000. At the moment, it's looking like this trend is holding. So that's important to note. But we got to kind of keep an eye on the volume as well, guys. The buy volume is kind of decreasing. The sell volume here is kind of increasing a bit. So we could potentially break this line here. Also, the whole kind of rising wedge, it kind of tells us that potentially we could be heading for a bit of a sell-off as well. Also, the 1 day stock is looking quite overbought, and it's looking like it wants to come back down, the 1 day stock. So I mean that's kind of saying that we need a few days of sell-off, right? But that's all healthy, guys. In all honesty, I mean, look where we just bounced from like 2,900 all the way up to like 4,500. All right, so that's $1,600 just like continuously like pushing up. Yeah, so it's to be expected. You can't just continue to push up and up and up all the time, right? So that's what BTC is looking like. The good sign is for the short term is that this trend line is really proved to be strong, and it's creating here. I mean, these are the 4-hour candles. We can say this is almost creating a bullish kind of doji, sorry, not doji, a bullish hammer, right? We've got 7 minutes left of this 4-hour candle, and we could potentially on the 4-hour time frame, it remains to be seen, but if we get the next candle turns out to be a green bullish one, then we could turn back up on the 4-hour time frame. It remains to be seen, guys. But like I said in the last video, guys, me being bullish on Bitcoin, that was by no means was a signal to say, okay, buy Bitcoin here. All right. So most people would have been holding Bitcoin from earlier on, right? And if you're trading Bitcoin, then you need to be having tight stop losses, right? You need to be trailing your stop losses. So as Bitcoin is creating higher highs and higher lows, you need to be, I guess, be trailing your stops below the lows, right? So you're creating a higher high, that's eventually going to be a higher low. So just trail your stop loss below that low. Okay, so if I was following Bitcoin here, I would have had my stop here. I'd have had my stop here, right? Or I would have had to be honest with you, I would have most likely I probably would have had my stop here, right? On the 4-hour chart, I would have had my stop below these wicks here, right? Most people probably would have had their stop even higher. But it all depends where you purchased Bitcoin. if you purchased Bitcoin up here, then you've got much higher risk. If you're holding Bitcoin from down here, down these levels, then really you can kind of just let it ride, because in the long term we're heading up, right? We've still got a lot to go. So it's looking, yeah, it's kind of watch this space time. Now let me just touch upon another coin, because obviously I've been covering these coins, so I want to obviously show you how it's affected Neo as well. Let's just see the chart clean for a second, and let's look at coin market cap for a second and see how the market is doing. I mean, obviously when Bitcoin's like this, it's red. It's a red day. I mean, Neo's been hit quite badly as well against Bitcoin. Less badly against Bitcoin. Ethereum's doing well against Bitcoin, but really and truly in this market, when Bitcoin's going down, in price, you want to see how the coins are performing against USD. You want to see if they're green against USD, right? So Lisk, I mean, really, BAT, Made Safe, there's really nothing really that's doing well. The whole Bitcoin is dragging the whole market down, right? If we see which coins, I mean, these are really not big coins. Game credits is an exception, but to be honest with you, 2.8% is nothing to be that excited about. Yeah, see, a lot of them look DigiByte, one that we were talking about before, that's gone down a huge amount. Wow, Stratis, I mean, Stratis has just been continuously bleeding. It's just, amazing to think like where we were, like how bullish everyone was on Stratis just like a month or two ago, and since then how far it's come down. Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be reaching a support zone here. Remains to be seen. But anyway, forget about Stratis. Metal, yeah, I mean, they've all been bleeding. Look, Neo as well. Gas and Neo are kind of similar in similar boats. Everything has been bleeding. Everything, right? So that's obviously because Bitcoin has been has had a sell-off, right? So everyone's kind of selling off their Bitcoin. Another thing is people are kind of selling off their altcoins to go into Bitcoin because of the whole Bitcoin gold situation. People want to claim their free Bitcoin gold, so that's something as well to look at. One thing I want to kind of touch upon, guys, is BitShares, BTS. Bittrex has announced that they're going to be delisting BitShares. So, in all honesty, I personally think it might be a good time to buy it because it's so low. It might be a good time to buy it and then just move it over to Poloniex. I honestly think that's probably a good idea because look how low it's got to. I mean, it might come even lower after this like oscillation. If we have a look at the 30-minute, like obviously the 30-minute, you can see it's right at the top here. If we wait for this 30-minute to come down, 30-minute to come back down here, and then buy, so that's probably going to push the price down here or something. And then let's see what zone that will probably come to. I mean, that will probably bring it to this zone here, this top here. Yeah. So I'd say if you wait for the price to come down to here, and zoom in a bit. Okay, I think it could sell off. It could come down to like 1300, and then because BitShares is delisting it, yes, it's going to affect the price and so on, but the trading is still going to be trading on Poloniex and other exchanges. So you could literally just buy this, and look how low it is. I mean, it's really hit rock bottom, guys. I mean, compared to, I mean, it's coming back to like where it was in May. If you think about it like that, it's coming back to its price in May, and since, I mean, it went up 1100% from there, right? So if you just want to hold it, I mean, that's another thing as well. It could just really pump at some point, you know. We could genuinely say that this is nearing the completion of its cycle. I mean, I can't see it bleeding out a lot more, right? It's been bleeding out quite a lot down here. It's been bleeding out a lot, right? So, in all honesty, this is like a real bargain. And if you want to hold BitShares and trade it on Poloniex, that's an option, you know. So that's something. Yeah, Neo. Now Neo, guys, it has been performing the best out of all the coins, right? I know it's bleeding out today and so on, but you've just seen the market. Everything is bleeding today, right? And there's a lot of kind of FUD going around at the moment with Bitcoin and the whole Bitcoin gold thing as well. It's kind of like, you know, it's almost like the whole world is kind of conspiring against Bitcoin at the moment, and you know, because it's like calling it like a legacy. You know, we've got Roger Ver calling it like the legacy coin, or the legacy. It's a legacy technology, and it's just like, you know, everything's trying to kind of pull Bitcoin down, and like, I don't know, like it feels like there's all these forks and these new coins coming out, and you know, the general sentiment is like, you know, how long is Bitcoin going to last in its current form, right? And that, I think that sentiment is kind of trickling down into the markets as well. But in the meantime, look, Neo has survived, you know, the China FUD, the Korea FUD, all the ICO FUDs, and it kind of came out the other end and is still kind of heading up, right? So anyway, so I want to kind of highlight something, and that is we've been on this kind of upward trend, right? Since the beginning of this kind of pump, right? And what's happened just recently now is in the last few hours, we've broken this trend. So you can clearly see on the 1 hour time frame, we've just broken this trend. And as what happens usually is when you break the trend, you come back up, you bounce back up, and you bounce off the top of the trend. So off the bottom of the trend. Okay? So all this time we were bouncing off the top of it, and now that we've broken this trend, basically meaning we've broken the uptrend. We've broken this uptrend. Okay? For how long? I don't know, right? But sometimes what happens is you break the trend and it's a fake breakout. You know, for whatever reason, you know, there might be like some FUD or something, and there's a sell-off and it breaks the trend, and then it climbs back on top of it. It can climb back on top of it. So where are we heading? That now remains to be seen. I mean, this 1 hour candle here is, I guess, let's have a look at another candle. Let's have a look at the 2 hour candle. Yeah, it's looking like we've well and truly broken the trend. But I'm hoping we can maintain this cloud support here on the 2 hour. Okay, so I'm hoping we don't break below here. The good news is, guys, is on the, you can see this support line here. You can see this support line. If I show you on the 6 hour, maybe it'll be clearer. Is it clear on the 6 hour? Yes. Okay, can you see this support line extends? 1 second. Can you see it extends at the bottom? It's supporting these candles, these 3 candles here, support, 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 coming above, and it's acting as a resistance for this 6 hour candle. It's acting as support here. Okay, this support zone, which is strong support, okay, has held so far. Okay. Yes, we have broken the trend. Yes, many people's stop losses have probably been triggered, but it's not looking as bearish as some of the other coins. Bearing in mind, guys, we've just been going up here. We've just been kind of going up, right? We've had nice gains here along the way, yeah? And if you've been trading NEO, then you should have stop losses as well. I mean, you know, if you're trading it and then, you know, it depends where you're holding from. I mean, you could be, I guess, waiting for this trend to break before you could keep your stop loss down here, for example. Yeah, so, that's one potential place that if it breaks this trend, you don't want to be holding anymore, right? Alternatively, you could have been having your stop loss below this line here. You see below this line, that's one area. And then just reposition yourself. I mean, we can see here now on the 4-hour time frame, it's kind of resetting. The 4-hour time frame is resetting a bit here. The 1 hour's heading up. Okay, so that's positive. 4 hours resetting. 6 hour will be heading down. 12-hour is heading down. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's like, I guess on the higher time frames we're still heading down a bit. Let's have a look here. Yeah, so on the 1 day we're kind of just heading down, right? So we've got some correction to do, but on the smaller time frames, I guess if you're waiting to, I guess get out and then reposition yourself, then I guess what we can do is play on this 1 hour time frame. Play the strength on this 1 hour time frame. Sorry guys, let me just get rid of these. 1 second. Yeah, there you go. So say for example, all right, you want to get out of NEO now, okay, and wait for the 1 day time frames to kind of reset. So you can potentially, because this is like a 1 hour bounce here. Can you see on the RSI how we've come to the oversold zone here? We're bouncing. So we can wait for this stock to come up to around this zone here, yeah, and maybe sell off here. I believe, I mean, we've got 50 minutes left of this 1 hour candle. You could sell off at this zone here, at the 78 zone, if you want. If not, if you're a longer term holder, then if you want to hodl NEO, you can also do that as well. But I guess if you want to kind of sell off and then reposition yourself, then you can. But I believe in the long term, I'm talking about the next few weeks, I expect NEO to be hitting all-time highs. I expect NEO to be hitting all-time highs because it's shown strength here. It's shown strength there. Eventually, Bitcoin, where's BTC? Bitcoin eventually, after it has a sell-off and kind of regathers itself, eventually Bitcoin will be heading back up. Okay, I'm not too bothered about this new hard fork. I don't believe it's going to be as big of an impact as Bitcoin Cash. That's just my personal opinion. You can disagree with it if you like, but so I believe, if Bitcoin has a sell-off at the moment, like I said, is holding this trend very nicely, very, very nicely. You can see, look on the 4-hour candles just created a very bullish hammer, very bullish hammer. So it's just, we're already back at 43.14. So from 4,200 now, we've already gained another $100. And people were really panicking on this sell-off, but if you just follow the trend, we can see we're still on this trend, guys. We're still very much on this trend. Okay, so basically don't panic. If you're trading it, follow it up and then, set your stop losses. You set your stop losses. What you could have done, say, if you had your stop loss here at 43 whatever, yeah, You're going to follow this down and say, okay, I'm going to buy at this trend line. That's one. If you follow this candle, you could have said, okay, well, let's have a look at the hourly. Okay, so the hourly would have been clearer. Okay, so if you're following this, you could have said, okay, I'm gonna purchase in this zone here because this is where the trend line is. Yeah, makes sense. It's perfectly feasible, right? So you could have said, okay, because it's gonna bounce off this trend, right? So you could have given yourself that zone. Okay, I'm gonna buy some at 42.30. I'm gonna buy some at 42.20 and 42.10 or something, right? Because so if it doesn't come quite down to the trend line, like some of these wicks, there's 2 wicks here on the 1 hour that literally touched the trend line, right? But if some of them didn't, then you would have caught the falling knives, let's say, yeah. So yeah, cool stuff. So anyway, that's it, guys. Just basically kind of be vigilant and carry on as you were. Keep an eye on Bitcoin because it could come out of here, yeah. But at the moment, it's looking good. To be honest with you, I don't really sell-offs are healthy. We can't keep on expecting the price just to keep on going up. Look, we had a sell-off here also, and we recovered, right? We could potentially, if we break this trend, then it's a different story. If we break this trend, then we got to look at, okay, so where are the support zones? Then we look at the 1 day, okay, and we could say, why did I draw this line? Okay, so this is a support zone here, okay? It's a clear support zone here, right? And then I'd look at this zone here as well. 1 second, let's have a look. Yeah. Then I would look at this zone here as well, okay? Because there's 2 things here for me. Yeah, there's 2 things, right? There's the cloud. There's a cloud and there's these 2 1-day candles here as well. But then, really and truly, the main thing we got to look at is this low here, right? And the bottom line is this trend line. Okay, so if it comes all the way back down, falls all the way through, which I doubt it, then set your buys here. Basically, set your buys anywhere near this trend line and anywhere near this zone here. You could look at the support zones here for this area and have it so, okay, look, so this support zone here for these 1-day candles here is a clear confluence with this trend line in this spot right here. I'm not saying it's going to come down here, but if for any reason it did fall all the way down, I don't think it's going to fall through. I mean, it could fall through also, I guess, and hit this zone here. See the bottom of these? That's a possibility as well. So this is a possibility as well, right? So yeah, I mean, you just got to kind of see how it plays out, guys. If it's falling through, then you can set your bites here. You can set like 25% here, 75% here, right? But that's not, I'm not trying to spread fear or FUD or anything. I'm just saying if that did happen, if that was the scenario, then there's potential areas there that you could buy. Long term, still very bullish on Bitcoin and on Neo as well. There's a lot of things happening with Neo that in the next month or two, expecting big things from Neo. And like I mentioned before, guys, if those of you that purchased around here or wherever, you're looking to sell, you can sell off on this 1 hour strength. Wait for the 1 hour strength to play out. Maybe it's going to come up here. Maybe it's going to come up here. Who knows? And then you can maybe get out of your positions if you want, because on the 1 day time frame, it's looking like we need to have a little bit of a sell-off, right? So I don't know how, where that's going to play out to. Um, so yeah, I mean, me personally, I'm holding from down here because I want to kind of see where Neo goes, right? This is a coin that I'm personally holding. So that's about it for now, guys. Let me know what you think. Don't panic, and stay safe. Remember to keep your stop losses. If you're trading it, then remember to keep your stop losses. If you're holding good coins for the longer term, then that's fine. You don't need to worry. You can sleep at night, right? And let me know if you want me to look at any coins as well. And that's about it, guys. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, then subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. And I'll see you on the next one. Adios.